In this WrestleTalk news, Alexa Bliss shoots on a top AEW star, Adam Cole dealing with multiple injuries, and Tony Khan teases some AEW returns, plus loads more. So subscribe and enable notifications to always on for daily wrestling news videos.
Support WrestleTalk!
But first, WWE is set to make its triumphant return to Atlantic City for WWE Sunday Stunner, an upcoming live event at the ITES Arena. In hyping up the event though, the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino somehow made it seem like they'd got in a WWE cover band, because they were advertising matches between the Usos and the New Day, Bianca Belair, Becky Lynch, and someone called Ashul, which sounds like one of the minions of Gozer from Ghostbusters, and the fourth major tussle between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Franklin Rollins. It sounds like an estate agent. I mean, always check your posts for autocorrects, because otherwise you'll be advertising matches between champagne and dolphin cigarettes. But WWE's feuding with more than just the English language, as Alexa Bliss took a shot at a top AEW star. Now, the former Ember Moon, Athena, arrived in AEW at Double or Nothing and immediately caught the eye of TBS champion Jade Cargill. So the pair have been in a bit of a back and forth on AEW TV and took the fight to social media too, with Cargill responding to a post by Athena where she said she looked classy and sassy, with a reference to the infamous backstage WWE meeting Athena revealed in which women were advised to dress sexy for television. Cargill wrote, "You ask me, you look rather Mandy-ish. I thought you weren't trying to be sexy. Got close to a real goddess and seen you have to switch it up. But you guys want this woman to take my spot? Bitch, get the out of here." Now, if you remember, Mandy Rose was one of the ones reportedly cited in the meeting to emulate, which Athena called not fair, a perfectly reasonable response, because not every woman in WWE can be blonde like Mandy was. You hear that, Vince? Not every woman can be blonde. I know it's hard to hear. Not all of them. Athena then fired back saying that's real rich coming from someone who's also a buff blonde. Mandy and Charlotte already have that taken. Move on, hussy. And then Alexa Bliss just waded into the fray with a big leaguing if I ever saw one. She said, "I'd love to get mad at someone who's coming after my bestie, but I'm still trying to figure out who the heck they even are." Who is she? Who is she? I mean, if she doesn't even know who Jade Cargill is, how do you think poor old Thunder Rosa feels? She didn't even get to make the poster for Blood and Guts.
Before we get on with the rest of the episode, I'd just like to say a huge thank you to this video's sponsor. It's on my nipple, Manscaped, where you can get 20% off your order and free international shipping by going to manscaped.com/WTTV now. You've heard us mention before that it's all about your balls. Manscaped's great products like the Lawnmower 4.0 to help keep up your maintenance. But much like a wrestling storyline, the follow-through is just as important. I'm not talking about pooing yourself. I'm talking about Manscaped just launching their new anti-chafing high-performance boxer briefs collection with more than 6 color combinations to choose from. And you can change up your order by choosing single units or save with their 3-pack options. The secret to these boxers are the Jewel Pouch. Jewel Pouch, the title of WWE's next Saudi Arabian event prize, which is actually a space for your huevos to rest and be cradled by the perforated fabric for extra breathability. I already loved the original Manscaped briefs, but somehow these have blown my mind by how comfortable they are. So visit manscaped.com/WTTV now. The link's in the video description below, where you will get 20% off on your order and free international shipping. Please do at least just give that link a click to check them out, as every visit also helps support this channel. So jam that jam, and remember, it's all about your balls.
Sticking with AEW, the injury plague is spreading within the walls of the promotion. First, taking down newly crowned champion CM Punk, and now claiming the inaugural winner of the Owen Hart Cup, Adam Cole. You may have noticed that Cole hasn't wrestled a match since defeating Samoa Joe in the finals at Double or Nothing, and all signs are pointing to him being out of action a little bit longer. Because according to Fightful Select, the undisputed elite man is battling a series of injuries and has been banged up for quite a while. Fightful sources say that Cole has been working with a labrum injury for a while, at least since his world title program with Hangman Page, and that at one point Cole's labrum, the cartilage in the shoulder joint, was completely torn, though that has not been confirmed by either Cole or AEW. But it looks like Cole might not actually be missing any time though, as he was on Dynamite this week to commentate the match between Hangman Page and David Finlay, and then tried to muscle his way into challenging Kazuchika Okada at Forbidden Door after Hangman said that he had his sights set on the IWGP Heavyweight Champion. An early report from PW Insider says that Cole will be kept out of in-ring competition until the pay-per-view so that he can rest up and rehab the injury before returning to action at the event in Chicago at the end of this month. But as one star comes down with injuries though, some of the others on the shelf may be returning soon. Because in a tweet celebrating AEW Dynamite finishing #1 in the key cable originals demographic on Wednesday, Tony Khan teased that many stars will return to AEW soon. He wrote, "Thank you to everyone, fans at home, KC fans, staff and wrestlers who made AEW Dynamite Wednesday's #1 show on cable/satellite. I'm excited many stars will return to AEW in the weeks ahead." Now, the current crop of talent on the bench includes Bryan Danielson, Kenny Omega, Sting, Orange Cassidy, Scorpio Sky, and Jeff Hardy. Interestingly, Hardy, who was nearly knocked out in a bout with the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing, is set to return to action next week in a 3-way ladder match for the AEW Tag Team Championships against the Bucks. Oh yeah, and the reigning champions, Jurassic Express. Me and AEW just keep forgetting about them and how important they are. Now, it's already been mentioned in this episode, but probably the biggest name out of action in AEW is CM Punk, the bloody world champion. Punk announced on the Dynamite post Double or Nothing that he has a broken wheel and would require surgery, and then it was announced on Dynamite this week that Punk's operation had been successful, so that is all good stuff. Now, speaking on Busted Open Radio, Tony Khan offered some further insight, saying it is a setback, but we're really excited to get CM Punk back. He's going to have surgery here quickly, and I'm very nervous but pretty optimistic because he's going to be seeing one of the top doctors in the entire world and someone really renowned in sports medicine. We were fortunate to get him in quickly, and we're excited to get him back. Before we crack on with the rest of the episode, though, we just need to thank Superkick Nick Mazesco and Ryan Disco Stewart for their support on Patreon. Thank you very much, guys. Now let's hop the fence and talk WWE, which is having a world champion problem on its own after putting both the WWE Championship and Universal title onto Roman Reigns, sort of creating the undisputed Universal Championship, and then just letting him sort of disappear. Now, obviously, that leaves a gaping hole at the very top of the roster, and though it was widely reported that Reigns would be taking a more relaxed schedule, most people assumed he'd probably be working the pay-per-views, much like Brock Lesnar did on his part-time schedule. Though that seems to not truly be the case, though, as according to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated, Reigns is now no longer set to compete at Money in the Bank on July 2nd. Now, WWE had already had to move that event from the Allegiant Stadium to the smaller MGM Grand Garden Arena, and maybe they're just worried that the big dog would dig up the garden, and that's why he's not going to be there. Dave Meltzer confirmed by pushing out the same report, but it does come as something as a shock, because after Reigns missed Hell in a Cell and hasn't been on TV since the May 20th edition of SmackDown, where he helped the Usos claim the undisputed tag team titles from RK Bro, you might have thought you would see him for the next pay-per-view. Now, another report from Fightful suggests that Reigns was always planned to skip the event, as the Money in the Bank ladder match was seen as a big enough selling point and draw of the show, and there'd be no need to have the champion there to compete at all. Though that does somewhat remove the stakes that come with the immediate cash-in on the same show, and therefore some of the excitement, so good one, WWE. A WWE source that Fightful spoke to also suggested that Reigns is still expected to make an appearance at SummerSlam at the very end of July, so he's not exactly missing all of the live events in July at least, because WWE have put 2 in 1 month. Weirdly. Now, the problem with Reigns missing these events is WWE lacking stars at the very top of their roster, which is likely why Edge was summarily kicked out of Judgment Day this week on Raw, and a problem that is only exacerbated by Cody Rhodes' injury. Now, Rhodes suffered a torn pec training for his Hell in a Cell match with Seth Franklin Rollins and went into surgery this week. An update from his wife Brandy said that everything went well. She said, "The doctor just repaired Cody's pectoral tendon, which was torn completely off the bone. Successful surgery. He's on the road to recovery now." Missed opportunity to say the roads to recovery. You think they'd be milking that for all it's worth. It's expected, though, that Cody's going to be out for at least 3 to 5 months, though Rhodes did tease making a miraculous quick recovery on Raw so that he could win the Money in the Bank briefcase in early July, but that is before Franklin came out with a sledgehammer to write him off of TV, so that's not likely happening. Now, Mr. Franklin Rollins isn't the only terrible WWE name doing the rounds right now, though this next one was a genuine suggestion from within the company, and not a mistake, so worth noting. Because released SmackDown star Davey Boy Smith Jr. was interviewed by Inside the Ropes, where he revealed the gimmick that he might have been saddled with had he ever got to debut on SmackDown. Smith said that he had positive reviews from his dark match and things were gearing up for his debut when he came down with COVID and was out to 3 weeks-ish. Adding, "Then I was kind of forgotten about. I came to TV 1 or 2 times. I was waiting to come back and then they called, and Johnny," Laurinaitis, said that he wasn't a fan of it, Davey Boy Smith's release. He wasn't happy with the list of names he was given, but it wasn't from him. "I don't know what they were waiting for. The only thing I was told, I was going to be debuting on SmackDown and they were going to call me the Stampede Stud, the son of the British Bulldog. The Stampede Stud." Flippin' heck, man. Flippin' heck.
In this world,
Hawkman!
Said no one ever. What gas pork man.
Heroes don't kill.
This bit looks kind of familiar.
Well, I do.
I love his little cowl neck situation.